Hey everyone! So today we're going to do something a little different. We are taking one single, incredibly powerful sentence from the Russian author Leo Tolstoy and, well, we're going to unpack the entire moral worldview that's packed inside it. Let's just dive right in. So there it is. Talk about a bold claim, right? This is an absolute statement that lays out a direct cause and effect path from one single action to, well, to total ruin. It's not just an opinion. It's like a whole theory of moral collapse, all crammed into one sentence. So let's break this thing down. Okay, so first things first. The argument pinpoints a very specific trigger, a catalyst. And it's not some vague idea like making bad choices. Nope, it's a concrete action that it claims is the number one trigger for everything else that happens. And you gotta pay attention to the wording here. It doesn't just say it's a way to cause problems. It says it's the biggest means. That language immediately takes alcohol consumption from just being a potential risk and elevates it to the single greatest threat to a person's inner world, at least according to this point of view. So what this does is it basically sets it up as the very first domino in a long line. The logic is crystal clear. You push this one piece, and the collapse that follows isn't just a maybe, it's framed as something that's bound to happen. All right, so you've tipped that first domino. What happens next? Well, the argument says the damage starts on the inside. It's this very specific two-step process of decay that happens right inside a person's mind. And the order here is super important. It's not random. First, a person's thinking, their ability to reason and use logic, is destroyed. It's only after that mental foundation is gone that the second step happens, the collapse of their entire moral compass. This points to a really fascinating idea, doesn't it? That morality isn't just some gut feeling, but that it's actually built on our ability to think straight. So if you destroy someone's capacity for clear judgment, the whole structure of right and wrong that was built on top of it, well, it's all going to come crumbling down. But this internal collapse, it doesn't just stay inside. According to this argument, once your thought and morality are gone, you're set on a very specific, unchanging path that leads to one final destination. So, what is the end of the line? Where does this journey ultimately lead? A journey that started with a physical act, moved to an internal collapse? Where does it all end? The answer is stark, and it's absolute: sin and downfall. And then the world of this argument, this isn't just, a mistake or a bad phase. It's framed as the final, definitive state of being. It's the end of the road. Sin and downfall really is the climax of this whole narrative. It's not presented as a risk, but as the direct, unavoidable result of that first domino falling. It makes for a seriously powerful and sobering conclusion. But, this statement doesn't just describe a process. It ends with a really clear and potent warning. This last part is what turns the whole thing into an urgent cautionary tale. Let's just zoom in on that final phrase. After laying out this entire destructive chain of events, the argument boils it all down to the immense danger hiding inside a single moment, a single choice. The real power of this argument hinges on this number, 1. It suggests it doesn't take years of bad decisions, but just one wrong step to set off this irreversible chain reaction. It implies that our moral foundation is incredibly fragile. And that leaves us with a really powerful final question, doesn't it? The argument we've just walked through presents this clear-cut path, where one action can lead, without fail, all the way to ruin. It frames a single choice as something that could define your entire life. So it's worth thinking about. How much weight does a single step truly hold?